Hi there, welcome to Dino's World and welcome to this mega comparo of the Triumph Speed 400 versus the rest of the roadsters and the rest of the modern classics in the 350 to 400cc category. I've got a lot of questions about what is what and what is better, which one is better, which one to buy, and I thought I'll just compare them all in one mega comparo and make things easier for you. Another thing is that I'm not including the likes of Duke 400 or Duke 390. So in this, because those are sport bikes, different category, different classification, different segment, and the kind of character they have on offer is completely different. It's basically a modern classic retro roadster comparo of the other options in the segment, and what makes the Triumph Speed 400 better than them or equal to them, or which one is better, which one you should consider, what kind of a riding style, and for what kind of a riding preference. Anyway, so let's not waste any more time, let's get started. So the rivals or the competitors for this mega comparo, we have the Harley 440X, Highness 350, then you have the classic 350, the new one with the J series engine, and the latest blockbuster segment king, you can call it the Hunter, which has become an absolute runaway success. Now the Speed 400 is here to kind of disturb the party of the Hunter, I am sure, and it is going to become the new benchmark in this segment, and I'll tell you why in this comparo. But anyway, it will not be a biased video, it will be even comparison of what is what, so that you can figure out which one complements your riding style or your riding preferences, whether you ride in the city, whether you ride in the highway, whether you prefer off-roading, or whether you want it all, kind of an all-rounder kind of a motorcycle, one bike do it all machine that can help you enjoy a biker's lifestyle. So let's get started. First we start with the max power and the max torque figures. So Triumph Speed 400 has 40 PS of max power and 37.5 Newton meters of max torque. Now this is a very perfectly sorted figure because it's not over the top power, overkill power. At the same time, it is not power that is left that's going to leave you wanting for more, like what happened with BMW Motorrad and TVS. Somehow I felt that 34 bhp or 35 bhp was not enough to complement the kind of design and the kind of stature and the kind of persona that motorcycle, the RR 310, had on offer, or the BMW 310R had on offer. So they could have, or the new BMW 310RR had on offer, RR 310, 310RR, active voice, passive voice, but the motorcycle is the same. So such a beautiful motorcycle not having adequate juice at the top end kind of left people wanting for more, especially true enthusiasts. So that's not the case here. They've balanced it out perfectly by not giving too much over the top power. They haven't given 45 PS or 48 PS that might be sounding like overkill power. They have given the perfect balance at 40 PS and 37.5 Newton meters. Again, the torque is also right up there. So that is what gives you an engaging riding experience, an intriguing riding experience, an involving riding experience, and a completely pleasurable riding experience. Because the wave of torque, they say 90% of torque being available from 3000 RPM onwards up to 9000 RPM. So the broad spectrum of torque is there to play around with in any gear. Now next we have the Harley 440X. Now Harley motorcycles are all about outright torque, because they don't even mention the power figures in their motorcycles. A proper Harley, they never ever mention the max power figure. They only mention the torque, whether it is 150 Newton meters or 160 Newton meters or 170 Newton meters. So depends on the model that's scaling up and above as you scale up in the product portfolio. But now this one, the 440X single cylinder made by Hero, because see, this is one thing that you can understand is that the Harley 440X is a completely made by Hero Motocorp, and they have just stuck the Harley's Davidson sticker on top of it. Now that doesn't take away what it is. Like, it might be a beautiful machine, it might be a beautiful handler, it might be a very comfortable machine, it might be a good enjoyable machine. I haven't ridden it, but I have heard people like Sarge and Varun talking about it. They have ridden it and they have enjoyed it. They say it's a good motorcycle, a good motorcycle. So this is right out of their motorcycle. It rides good. The power 27 PS, 38 Newton meters. Again, 38 Newton meters maximum torque offered by any motorcycle in this comparo. So that is something you need to understand. So do you want a low slung cruiser or a roadster with maximum torque that you don't want to enjoy, get into top on the redlining, and you just want to enjoy the torque delivery of the motorcycle? I think 440X has the maximum torque delivery here in this comparo. Then comes the Highness, which is the safest player of the lot. Like, it's like a gentleman. It doesn't want to go become a hooligan. At the same time, it doesn't want to become too gentle with its approach. 21 PS of max power and 30 Newton meters of torque. Again, as you see, these roadsters, these modern classics are all about torque delivery. So you always notice that the power figure is way too low, but the torque delivery or the torque figure is way high, because they want an engaging riding experience, and they want basically a city commuter which can do a bit of touring. So in the city, you want instant overtaking power, you want to perform those quick overtakes. That's where the torque figure comes into play. Then comes Royal Enfield Classic 350 with the J series engine, the tried and tested formula, and of course the J series is brand new, premiered with the Meteor 350. And again, you see that the max power is 20 PS and the torque is 27 Newton meters. Now this is the same engine that powers the Hunter. Same J series engine, same power, same torque, 20 PS, 27 Newton meters. It's just the overall design silhouette that changes and makes it far more sleeker, more approachable, and more flickable, more maneuverable. The most fun-loving machine in the entire Royal Enfield portfolio, I think, is the Hunter, because it's lightweight, easy to flick around, and can be ridden by anyone, including ladies who have taken into riding and started enjoying the biking culture. This, again, the Royal Enfield engine is again a torque master, again 27 Newton meters of torque, very refined, no vibrations. So that is something you got to give it to them. So if you're looking for a city commuter that can do a bit of touring, here are the bottom three options are for you. Like, the Highness is good, reliable Honda engine. Then you have the Classic 350, which gives out a good decent mileage up to close to 38 to 40 kmpl. I'll talk about the mileage as well. Then you have the Hunter, which is again a perfect city commuter that you can take out for weekend rides and touring as well. So here I feel, when it comes to the power and torque figures, Speed 400 has offered the perfect balance for those who like to enjoy their ride. Then comes the gearing, the transmission options. The Triumph gets a 6-speed gearbox, Harley gets a 6-speed gearbox, whereas the rest of the three, I mean the Highness, Classic and the Hunter, get 5-speed gearbox each. Now again, the gearing is different in each of these motorcycles. Triumphs again is not shorter gear ratios or longer gear ratios. It is evenly matched gear ratios, such that there's enough amount of juice in every gear, enough amount of acceleration and excitement in every gear. Again, the Classic and the Hunter and the Highness, they are kind of leisurely paced gear ratios. Again, as you scale up, there might be a little bit of engine knocking if you are finding yourself in a higher gear at lower speeds. Now that is not the case with the Triumph. Triumph, even if you're riding at 60 kilometers per hour in the 4th gear or 5th gear, it manages to still not offer any engine knocking. Harley again has 6 gears. I can't talk about it unless I have ridden it, but this is just the spec comparo. Then comes the weight, which is another crucial thing that determines how the bike performs and how efficient the bike is. Triumph is 176 kilos. The Harley is 190 kilos. Highness is 181 kgs. Classic is the heaviest of the lot at 196 kgs. And the Hunter is 181 kgs. Again, well balanced. So the Highness and the Hunter have the same weight at 181 kgs. So again, there's a battle going on right over there. But the lightest of the lot is 176 kgs, the Triumph. That kind of power, that kind of torque, and a weight of just 176 kgs gives the bike more swift-footedness and more enjoyable character, instant kind of thrust as you ring the throttle wide open. Then comes the price. Now the price is something very, very crucial. It determines whether to go for it or not, especially for us Indians. We need pocket friendliness. For a middle class guy, if he's buying his first bike or graduating to another bike, he wants it to be affordable and low on maintenance costs. So the price for Speed 400, going past that 10,000 booking mark, is, because earlier it was 2.23 lakhs, now it is 2.33 lakhs for the rest of the guys who have booked it after the 10,000 booking mark, which is already over. So 2,33,000 is the price for the Speed 400, which is considerably less than Harley 440X top spec model, because the rest of the models from Harley don't look like Harley. I'm sorry about it. They look very, very ordinary and they don't match the kind of quality you come expecting. The 2.69 lakhs in the variant, that is the one that looks very, very, much like a Harley fit and finish. The graphic and everything, the equipment, everything does justice to the Harley badging on the fuel tank. So that is one thing you need to understand. So that is 2.69 lakhs, which is the most expensive of the lot. Okay, so going by the brand reputation, Harleys are not affordable. They're usually expensive than the rest of the lot. Usually, even if it costs twice the money, you can accept that because Harleys are over the top expensive. But here it is made by Hero. Parts should be more easily sourceable, parts should be easily affordable and easily available. So that is the advantage that the Speed 400 and the Harley have, because the Speed 400 association with Bajaj, the parts will be easily available and easily sourceable. Similarly, Harley also enjoys the same advantage. The Highness, again, priced between 238 to 244 and 2,44,000 for top spec model. Let's look at that. So 2.44 lakhs for Highness feels a little bit expensive for what it has on offer when compared to the others in the competition now. So that is a call that you have to make, but with that comes the Honda's reliable engine. So that is one thing that adds on to its favor. Then you have the classic 350 price at 2.21 lakhs. So that is also well priced and not too expensive, but it has a legacy of its own. People grow up with the dream of owning a classic, and for them a J series engine is like an absolute dream. I mean, it rides like a dream, rides like a breeze, no vibrations whatsoever, and convenience of using it makes it even more enjoyable. So 2.21 lakhs is something very affordable, reachable for the average consumer out there. And then comes Mr. Hunter. Hunter is priced at, the top spec model is priced at, though the pricing starts from 1.49 lakhs, the top spec is priced at 1.69 lakhs, the dual tone and all the bells and whistles variant. So 1.69 lakhs for a 350cc bike is an absolute steal. I don't know how they managed to come up. I still recall the day the pricing was announced, and we had other officials sitting around me, and they were like completely taken aback by the pricing. They were surprised, how did these guys come up with this kind of pricing? So that is what Royal Enfield manages to pull off. They did that with the 650 twins. They have done it again with the Hunter, and you got to give it to them. Then comes the mileage. The mileage for the Triumph is 34 kmpl, as that was the question I asked at the press conference, and they said 80 miles to a gallon. When you bring it into kmpl, liters per kilometer, that comes up to 34 kmpl. And then you have Harley, again has a mileage claim of around 35 kmpl. Then the Highness has a mileage claim of 42 kmpl, which is the most efficient. As I told you, Hondas are all about fuel efficiency. So 42 kmpl, got to give it to the Highness. It's the king of mileage in this comparo. The Classic, my friends have owned it and they have gotten close to 38 to 40 kmpl. So in the real world conditions, that I can say out of my own experience. Hunter, they say the claim is around 36.5 kmpl, which is pretty decent for a sleek retro roadster or a modern classic. And then this was about the mileage, so you can figure out which one falls into your. So Triumph, they claim 34 kmpl, but I'm sure it can offer 35 to 38 easily, depends upon how you ride the bike. Then comes the ABS. Now all of them offer dual channel ABS, but apart from dual channel ABS, what do other motorcycles have on offer? The Triumph and the Highness also offer traction control. You have HSTC in Highness, and you have traction control in the Speed 400. So that is something that really helps in rainy conditions and wet surfaces. The Harley and Royal Enfield, they have something up their sleeve as well. So they offer navigation, which other motorcycles don't offer. So that is something you need to understand. People who travel a lot, who prefer navigation, see, you can use your phone for navigation as well, but then when you have a dedicated module for that in the Speedo console, nothing better than that. So you got to give it to Harley, that TFT console. I was seriously impressed. The Speedo console was very well lit, and in person I have to see whether it is as legible as it looked in the videos, and it really adds on to the style and the premium factor in this segment. So hats off to Harley and RE for Royal Enfield for offering navigation. With the, I think navigation is offered in the Hunter as well. And then of course Highness also offers Bluetooth and voice based navigation. Now this is not offered by Triumph. That is one thing you need to understand. They say we got to keep it raw, we got to keep it pure, we got to keep it like a motorcycle. We don't want to slap a tablet or a phone on your in the place of a speedometer. So they are not offering navigation, they are not offering Bluetooth connectivity. So that is something you need to understand. Harley and Royal Enfield offer navigation, and Highness offers voice-based navigation. That is something you need to understand. Then comes suspension. Now this is another crucial part of any motorcycle. Okay, so that determines how the bike handles and how it puts forth the power delivery. So Triumph Speed 400 comes with 43 USD forks from Endurance. Even the rear gas charged monoshock is from Endurance, and both are very good quality when you look at it in person. The gold anodized forks up front and the monoshock at the back. So they offer superb handling on the track. I mean, you will go fida. Like, you take it to a track day, you can't expect a roadster to be as nimble and swift footed through the corners as a Speed 400. That is where everyone fell flat on their face, falling in love with the machine, because first thing we rode it on the track, though it was a roadster, and then we rode on the highway. Then of course comes Harley 440X. The again gets 43 USD forks and twin rear shock absorbers. Now what happens here is even the foot pegs, the way the foot pegs are positioned, the Speed is perfectly positioned foot pegs, because suddenly a bad patch of road, you can stand up and just glide through that bad patch of road. You can see that in my motovlog ride review where I come across a bad patch. So Harley, I think, slightly forward set foot pegs, just like Ronin. So that is something you need to understand, and gets USD forks and twin shock absorbers at the back, but I'm unsure how the ride quality is. Maybe it's slightly on the stiffer side. Then comes the Highness. It gets telescopic forks up front, and they offer good ride quality, more friendly, maintenance free proposition when compared to USD forks. So telescopic forks are easier to maintain in Indian conditions than the USD forks, which if they land up in any really bad potholes, the fork seals may tend to break, but again, depends on how well they have tested the USD forks these days. Then comes the Classic and the Hunter. All of the bikes have telescopic forks, and the Classic and the Hunter both have 41 telescopic forks and offer good ride quality. Again, here the Speed 400 scores in terms of offering superb rideability and maintaining the lines through corners. No other bike can match that in that aspect. I mean, the way a corner entry and corner exit and holding the line through the corner, Speed 400 is right up there with the best of the best. Now the brakes are something you need to keep in mind because at the end of the day, they are the ones that save your life or watch your back. Okay, Triumph Speed 400 comes with 300 front disc, whereas the Harley gets a 320 front disc, best in class. I mean, best in this comparo. So that is something you have to give it to them. The initial feedback and the bite could be better. I don't know because I haven't ridden it, but Triumph, I could feel that the lever feedback and the feel was really right on point. I mean, it's incredibly awesome. Like, I hit the brake, I mean, only the front brake, doing around 150, close to 150 kilometers per hour. It was brilliant. And even on the track while doing 170, because right after the long straight comes a fast corner and you have to slow down a wee bit to calculate your way through that. So at 170, when I hit the brake, it doesn't feel, there's no wobbling, there's no fishtailing, there's no uncertainty, and it just stops right on the dime. So that is something really impressive with the Triumph Speed 400. Then of course comes the Highness, gets a 310 front disc, which is also really good. The Classic and the Hunter get 300 front disc, which is also pretty good proposition. So the Royal Enfield suffers from spongy brakes. If you have ridden anyone, you ask them, be it Himalayan or any other motorcycle, they suffer from these spongy brakes. They don't respond and they don't react to your instinct instantly. Of course, they are roadsters. You can't expect them to react like with that razor sharp precision of a sport bike. But you get that with the Triumph, and that's where it scores. It's not only a modern classic, it almost feels like a sport bike when you ride it hard. That's where the joy is for the Speed 400. Then comes the chassis. The Triumph gets a spine perimeter hybrid frame, which is beautifully designed, and it gets a bolt-on subframe. Now, what is the advantage of bolt-on subframe? First of all, the weight distribution is perfect. The handling is brilliant. The stability, high-speed stability is right on point. The flexibility, the maneuverability of the bike is far more easier. And then even if something bad happens, some accident happens to the rear section of the bike, you can buy the rear section separately and you can bolt it onto the actual frame. So that is the advantage in terms of maintenance cost when you have a split perimeter frame. So that is something you need to understand, just like what happens with KTMs. Now Harley gets a tubular steel perimeter frame. That's again impressive. I'm sure it offers good stability. Then you have the Highness. It has a half duplex cradle frame, which also offers good stability, good straight line stability, good high speed stability. Cornering is kind of okayish. It's not as nimble as the Triumph. Then comes the Classic and the Hunter, both share same kind of chassis, twin down tube spine frame. So both of them are flexible, both of them are maneuverable, but the Hunter is far more easily maneuverable in city traffic when compared to the Classic. Then comes the tank capacity. This is also crucial for those who want to tour on their bike. Now the Triumph offers 13-liter tank capacity, which is not here nor there. They could have at least offered 15 liters because it is so good in every aspect. I'm sure people want to tour on that. It is so relaxing and so enjoyable. So maybe they could at least offer a 14-liter tank, but we get only a 13-liter tank. Okay, that's okay. Then comes Harley with a 13.5-liter tank. Again, decent kind of okayish tank capacity. Highness wins the marks here by offering a 15-liter tank, which is really good for those who want to do long distance touring. It will offer a good tank range. Then the Classic and the Hunter again come with the same proposition of 13-liter tank that you can calculate as to how much tank range it might offer. And then comes the tires. For the Triumph, we get 17 inches front and rear. Then you get Apollo steel radial tires with a 150 section rear tire. So that is something. So you get Apollo or MRF. Both are steel radials and both offer superb road grip. Another thing that matters here is how much tire pressure you maintain. So tire pressure allows the tire to establish adequate contact patch with the road and allows the tire to grip the road. So please maintain the tire pressure not as per the vision will of the fuel station guy, but as per the user manual. So if it is 23 front and 27 rear or 26 rear, go with that. If you're riding solo, if you're riding with a pillion, just you can add 3 or 4 more psi to make it 30 and 25 front and 30 at the back. So but don't go by 30 up front and 40 at the back, where the overinflated tire reduces the contact patch. The tire won't be able to grip the surface, and that is where the bike tends to skid. So that is important. Then as I told you, 17 inches for Triumph. For the Harley, you get 18-inch front wheel and 17-inch rear wheel and a 140 section rear tire. Then you have Highness with a 19-inch front and 18-inch rear with a 130 section rear tire. So larger tires offer good straight line stability. 17-inch wheels offer good cornering stability and good flickability, easily maneuverable character. Again, the Classic gets a 19-inch front and an 18-inch rear, and you get a C8 or MRF tire, that is 110 section rear tire. Hunter gets again 17-inch wheels front and rear, and you get C8 or MRF tires depending on what you tend to get, and a 140 section rear tire, which is again more like a sport bike-ish. Again, in terms of ground clearance, I feel the Triumph offers decent ground clearance, whereas the rest of the bikes are okayish. They do manage to offer decent ground clearance. Nowhere, nothing to bother or nothing to worry about where you might scrape the bottom. Now coming to the overall proposition, where these bikes stand, which one to buy. So I already talked about the price and the mileage and the power, suspension, brakes, chassis, everything. So seat height again for Speed 400 is less than 800 mm. So that again plays as a major advantage for average height riders. It is around 790 mm, I think so. And that helps you easily put flat foot both of your feet if you're an average height rider like me, around 5'6" or 5'7". So anyway, now coming to the final verdict. Now where the Speed 400 scores ahead of the pack is the engine. The engine is a gem of an engine. I don't know how they pulled it off. It is refined, rev happy, peppy. It has superb torque delivery, superb in-gear acceleration, zero vibrations, ultimate refinement, and pure riding pleasure. Now, I don't think any other bike can match this. So having not ridden the Harley, I'm not sure. Harleys usually in the lower segment, they don't offer great refinement. Even some of the bikes in the higher segment are little vibey. I'm sure they can't match the refinement that Speed and the Triumph guys have come up with, or the Bajaj Triumph guys have come up with. For Speed 400, it is butter smooth, and at the same time, when you combine refinement with supreme torque delivery, that becomes sheer bliss and sheer driving pleasure, and that is where Speed 400 outshines everyone and becomes the new benchmark. And then comes the agility and the flickability. Again, the frame, the chassis, USD forks, the monoshock, and the swing arm, the way the geometry works, the way the chassis orientation works, it is absolutely mind-blowing. To literally blow your mind away, that you won't see it coming. You won't see, arey, ye theek-thaak rehne wala hai, it's going to be like a roadster. But when you ride it hard and then you feel that it kind of listens to you, it does everything that you want it to, and still gives you the comfort and relaxation of a roadster, that's where your mind start to fall in love with this machine. And the pricing, Triumph build quality and fit and finish, there's no compromise. Every nut and bolt has been machined to precision as per the specifics of Triumph, and that is where you see meticulous craftsmanship when it comes to build quality. That is going to again blow your mind away. It is just as well built as a speed twin, a 1200cc roadster. Same kind of fit and finish, same kind of build quality, available at an affordable price. A proper Triumph being made available to the masses is phenomenal at this price point. And affordability, maintenance cost, spares availability, everything is going to be affordable, because at the end of the day it's Bajaj. Spares will be easily available, spares won't be over the top expensive. So that is what will make Triumph Speed 400 an absolute runaway success, and it becomes the new benchmark that is going to be hard to beat. The definition of perfection is what I told it, like when they asked for feedback. So that is why my pick of the lot here is undeniably the Speed 400. And even if you guys ride all the bikes back to back, I've ridden all these bikes to my heart's content, and trust me, of course, the Harley is one I've left out, but I can feel, because I've ridden Harleys multiple times, the other segment like the 883, the Street 750s, the Fat Boy, the Fat Bob, the Super Low, or Street Glide, Road Glide, all these bikes I've ridden. So I can know what to expect from a Harley, and that is proper Harley. Now this is a hero built Harley, so we don't know how it will be, but still I can say that nothing can match the finesse and the brilliance, engineering brilliance of Speed 400. And people who have booked it, you're not going to regret. And people who are in a dilemma, go ahead and ride it to believe it. I think the test ride bikes might have arrived by now. Please do ride it and you will fall in love instantly. Thanks for watching. That's pretty much it. Hope this mega comparo helps you make your decision making more easy. If you want more such videos, feel free to comment below. Let me know which is your pick of the lot and why. Comment in the comment section as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, take care, God bless, and ride safe.